So I want to start off by saying that it seems that George Floyd was unjustly murdered, and I condemn the policeman who kneeled on his neck until he died. Just in case there's any confusion about what I'm about to say and you think I'm a member of the KKK or something. So for the last 10 weeks I've been under house arrest against my will, all on my own, for a lockdown which is in my opinion not only illegal and a total violation of my rights, but also counterproductive for protecting public health. I haven't been able to see my friends or family at a time when I was feeling pretty low and desperately needed them, and I've just had to sit here and take it. Which, by the way, is oppression, in case you're wondering. Not only that, but my mum's pub is shut against her will, and if it carries on like that, she'll probably end up losing her house, and because I live in the pub, I'll lose my home too. I've sat here and watched you all complain about this or that person having friends over, or people going to the beach, or Dominic Cummings driving here and there. But now that people are protesting because some random black guy got killed by the police, I don't see a single person condemning these people for breaching lockdown or social distancing. Nobody. So if you buy the idea of social distancing, all the sacrifices you've made for the past 10 weeks have all been for nothing, because it's all just been counteracted by these protests. And not one person except me has the spine to get pissed off by that, it seems, which makes you all total hypocrites, and I can't stand it any longer. You post all your George Floyd solidarity memes and solidarity with Black Lives Matter, but let me ask you something. What are you even protesting? What are they protesting? The guys who were involved in the killing of him are going to get locked up for a long time. Everyone agrees that he was killed unjustly, even though there's been no trial. By the way, we don't even know if the cop who kneeled on him was motivated by race or not. They used to work in the same place and might have known each other. And there hasn't been a single bit of evidence that I've seen that this was racially motivated. So what are you protesting about? You don't even know. You're just virtue signaling your solidarity for Facebook cred, and it makes me fucking sick. You don't give a shit about George Floyd. All you care about is saying the popular thing. If you actually cared about anything other than that, you'd condemn these protests and riots as a breach of lockdown and an undoing of everything that we've been working towards with social distancing. But you haven't got the balls to speak your mind. Either that or you're a total hypocrite. And before you say, oh, well, these protests are justified, who are you to judge when breaching lockdown is acceptable? Do you realise that that makes you just as bad as Dominic Cummings, the guy who you've been slating for the past 2 weeks? I didn't even notice this until last night when I shared that video, that everyone who's been condemning people for going to the shops too many times are now cheering people on for gathering in their thousands in London to protest a black guy getting killed by a white guy on the other side of the planet. It's absolutely fucking crazy to me. And you post your solidarity with black people posts because it's nice and safe, and your friends will think you're a great person, and you all wank each other off while changing nothing. And none of you have got the balls to touch the controversial issues, so you bury your heads in the sand and choose hypocrisy instead. I dare any one of you to condemn these protests. Also, black people and ethnic minority people are more at risk of this disease, so we're told. So by cheering protests on, you're putting them at risk, according to your own logic. You don't really care about black people. You know how I know that? Because about 5 posts ago, I posted a video called China Begins Segregating Blacks. And how many likes did it get? How many people tossed me off for posting it? And do you know what the worst part is? It makes me feel like whenever I post something about Jay or organ donation, which is important to me, that all of your likes are completely empty. They're just so you can pat yourselves on the back and pat me on the back. I have to wonder how many of you who agreed with what I said actually did something about it and had a conversation with your family about organ donation, because I'm now starting to think that it was all just a massive circle jerk that achieved nothing. You just jumped on the bandwagon to make yourselves feel better, like you jump on any bandwagon. Even if the bandwagon 1 week is to condemn Dominic Cummings for breaching lockdown, and the next week's bandwagon completely contradicts the first because you're supporting mass gatherings in the thousands. I'm fucking sick of it. I can't stand the hypocrisy any longer. So, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to go wherever I want and behave however I want, and you can't say shit because you're in no position to judge me. You have done more to undermine lockdown by failing to call out these protests than Dominic Cummings for driving across the country to self-isolate.